want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Barilli and you're watching the JoBlo Movie Network's Easter Egg Countdown.
We can't just leave him behind.
This episode, we follow James T. Kirk, Spock, and the rest of the Enterprise crew in 2016's Star Trek Beyond. For any Trekkie out there, this film is sprinkled with plenty of throwbacks and hidden references while taking us on one of the series' most action-packed outings to date. So throw up that Vulcan salute, and let's start the countdown.
I ripped my shirt again.
Kurt lamenting his ripped shirt is a reference to his frequently torn uniform during fights on the original series.
Today is our
966th day in deep space.
Kirk's captain's log states the date as being their 966th day in space. The original Star Trek series debuted in September 1966. 966.
As for me, things have started to feel a little episodic.
Kirk says his voyage is beginning to feel episodic, another callback to the format of the television series.
Let's keep this birthday thing under wraps, huh?
Kirk and McCoy share a drink and discuss Kirk's impending birthday. Kirk feeling bad about his birthday was a key plot element from the beginning of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
Happy birthday, Jim. What a damn monstrosity. Couldn't we just rent some space on a planet?
The space station USS Yorktown is named after the original starship from Gene Roddenberry's earliest drafts for Star Trek. Sulu's husband is played by Doug Jung, who co-wrote Star Trek Beyond with Simon Pegg.
Attention, unidentified vessel, you are not authorized for approach. Power down and await instruction.
Greg Grunberg, a longtime friend of J.J. Abrams, cameos for the second time in the rebooted franchise. He previously voiced Kirk's stepfather in 2009's Star Trek.
Hey, are you out of your mind? That car's an antique. You think you can get away with this just because your mother's off planet?
The alien briefly seen helping the alien visitor is played by Amazon.com founder Jeff Bezos.
Mark 14.
The character of Commodore Paris shares the same name as Star Trek Voyager character Tom Paris. The Paris family has a long history in Starfleet, making these two characters likely relatives.
Starfleet Command sent me your application for the Vice Admiral position here at this installation.
Kirk and Paris discussed the application for the position of Vice Admiral. Kirk was promoted in Star Trek The Motion Picture, only to regret leaving the Enterprise in the sequel.
And as we've come to understand, there is no such thing as the unknown.
Kirk's speech to the crew, citing "no such thing as the unknown," is a direct callback to the original series episode.
We gotta get you guys from the escape pod. Go! Go!
When the order is given to abandon ship, the crew of the Enterprise use their Calvin pods to escape. The pods are named after the USS Calvin, held by Kirk's father. Calvin is also the name of J.J. Abrams' grandfather. The ship designation for the USS Franklin is NX-326. March 26 was the birth date of the late Leonard Nimoy.
Ambassador Spock has died.
Spock mentions the death of Ambassador Spock and references,
When you've lived as many lives as he, fear of death is illogical.
This is a reference to the death and resurrection of Spock in Star Trek III.
How the hell did his ship end up here?
There's a lot of theories, sir. Surrendered to the Romulans, captured by a giant green space hand.
Scotty mentions a theory that the USS Franklin was captured by a giant green space hand. This is a joke referencing the original series episode, Who Mourns for Autoneus.
McCoy and Spock to Enterprise crew. Come in, Enterprise crew. Anyone.
Spock and McCoy being stranded together is a callback to many episodes of the original series in which the couple are forced to rely on one another.
I thought it was best to beam you one at a time, though, you know, in case you got spliced.
I couldn't imagine a worse scenario.
Scotty jokes about potentially splicing McCoy and Spock when they are transported. In Star Trek III, Spock transfers his consciousness into McCoy.
Remember,
Lieutenant Uhura wears a Vokaya amulet, which I presented to her as a token of my affection and respect.
you gave your girlfriend radioactive jewelry.
Spock uses the low-level radiation in the necklace he gave Uhura to locate her. The same technique was used in the original series episode, Elan of Troyes.
It was used by the Ancient Ones as a weapon.
The artifact Krall uses is almost identical to an object in the Next Generation episode, Gambit.
I surmise that if
Spock,
we would be...
skip to the end.
Kirk tells Spock to skip to the end. This was a common catchphrase on the Edgar Wright Simon Pegg sitcom Spaced. Pegg co-wrote Star Trek Beyond.
Whoa, wait a minute. Why, you green-blooded ingrate. This was your idea.
McCoy calls Spock a green-blooded ingrate. McCoy called Spock countless names on the original run of Star Trek.
Now you listen to me, you pointed-eared Vulcan. I don't like that.
McCoy says,
Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a...
Another classic character catchphrase.
I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer.
I'm a surgeon, not a psychiatrist.
Let's make some noise.
The Beastie Boys make their third appearance in the rebooted franchise. The band is a favorite of J.J. Abrams.
That's a good choice.
Scotty cracks his knuckles in preparation for some work.
We'll see about that.
James Doohan made a similar gesture preparing for some work in Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home.
I think you underestimate humanity.
I fought for humanity! Lost millions to the Zinti and Romulan wars! And for what?
Krall's backstory involves Mako and wars with the Romulans. This is a direct connection to the series Star Trek Enterprise. Kirk saying,
Vice Admirals don't fly, do they?
No.
Where's the fun in that?
is a reference to a similar quote made by Kirk to Picard in Star Trek Generations. Spock looks at a photo that belonged to Ambassador Spock of the original timeline crew. This is an image from Star Trek V, The Final Frontier.
To absent friends.
Kirk toasts to absent friends. He made the same toast in Star Trek III, The Search for Spock.
Absent friends.
Do you know that Scotch was actually invented by a little old lady in Russia?
Chekhov used to make outlandish claims of Russian inventions on the original series.
Scotch? Aye. It was invented by a little old lady from Leningrad.
The image of the new Enterprise is a direct callback to the second version of the original Enterprise built in Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. The giant green space hand can be seen in the credits sequence. And that's all for this installment of the JoBlo Movie Network Easter Egg Countdown. If you caught any Easter eggs we didn't, make sure to leave them in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. For the JoBlo Movie Network, I'm Tom Barilli.